The worst type of guy in existence is the shutdown artist. This is a guy who makes it his mission in life to make other people's jokes and stories fall flat. No matter how good your joke is, he'll make sure that it becomes nothing more than a prop for him to showcase his low-rent attempt at dry wit. You're at the greatest risk of encountering this guy when you're in high school to college, especially if you have nerdy interests. The shutdown artist I'm talking about here is almost exclusively male. When women suck the joy out of conversations because they have no personality, it usually has more of a, "that's not funny, that's actually really offensive" vibe to it. These dudes take on more of a, "I'm far too intelligent and mature for such childish humor" approach, which makes them more frustrating to deal with because you can't just call them triggered. Well, maybe you can. If you encounter one of these guys, just insist that he's triggered and see if you can gaslight him. Come back and report the results. Anyway, this is like the laziest possible way to try to look smarter than you really are. Even the guys who try to find symbolism and depth in arbitrary things work harder at faking being smart than this guy. This guy is like the older brother of the Gen Alpha skibbity toilet kid who constantly spams conversations with, "What is blood yapping about?" While the brain rot kid melodramatically pretends that what other people are saying is weird, the shutdown artist pretends everything is too stupid to be funny or interesting. Both share the same lame-ass goal, which is to manufacture an awkward situation and blame it on your attempt to make conversation. This is different from how edgelords operate, because at least edgelords are passionate about their contrarianism. It's not even the same as how your standard hater works, because this brand of hating is so low energy and soulless. These black holes of charisma have no personality traits other than sarcasm and being perpetually unimpressed with everything. If they do have any kind of personality, they'll keep it well hidden behind this facade of aloofness and disdain, because their fucked up little brains see joy as weakness. We've had a problem for a long time where people take whatever they're afraid of and project it onto as many things as possible. To a conservative boomer, communism is everywhere. To a social justice warrior, everything is bigoted. To a shutdown artist, everything is lowbrow and corny. All any of these people do is take whatever they're afraid of being seen as and project that onto the people around them. This guy tends to lurk in the background of group conversations and try to snipe anyone who gets too loud. He thinks he wants to be the center of attention, but if anyone ever actually gave a flying fuck about him, he wouldn't know what to do about it. The only way to deal with this guy is to double down, be louder, more out of pocket, laugh at your own jokes, take up more space in the conversation. Someone who feeds on awkwardness can be starved by shamelessness. Another way to handle him is to call him out directly. Let him know that you know what he is. You are not Daria. You are not Simon Cowell. You are a speed bump that more charismatic people have to run over in order to keep a conversation going. Static and overall inconsequential, but just intrusive enough to cramp everyone's style. Your unoriginal deadpan humor will never get you anything besides upvotes on Reddit. Remind him how visible his joylessness is, how unimpressive his one-size-fits-all approach to sarcasm is. Remind him that he gets no bitches. I've never seen a guy like this who gets bitches. You don't need to fear any consequences either. Guys like this will never actually fight you, they're too dead inside. Even if you swung first, you'd probably get a couple hits in before he could unfreeze for long enough to fight back. Now you might be saying, this kind of awkward and socially oblivious style of trying to roast people sounds like how someone on the autism spectrum might act. Are you being ableist, bro? This is why I tend to think of ableist as a bullshit term most of the time. I really don't care what excuse someone has when solving the problem is as simple as just shutting the fuck up. The same way I expect someone with BPD to hold it together well enough to refrain from screaming at me over minor perceived slights, I expect autists to hold it together well enough to not turn every conversation into an excuse to be condescending. Alright, that's all I got for today. Remember to clean out your poop jugs and stay stinky, diarrhea boys.